Let's check out her attacks. She does burn, so is it gonna be a burn team? Violence, big violence. Okay, so it's a mass attack. Burn, okay. This is burns, okay. Alright, so... Wait, isn't this the team I've been using? We had Marsha and Barrel at the back while we have ISO and Flutter Page in the front.
Let the curtain rise.
Wait a sec, so what Alright, there we go. Let's...
Let me handle the pain. It is here. I can hear it. Comme l'a scellé le destin. There's strength in restraint. Fate has revealed itself to you. A sacred charge.
Wait, so who's the healer on this team? Is it Meryl?
Ich schwor, zu beschützen und zu helfen. Let me handle the pain. What I'm good at. Dérive dans le flot des séphirotes. I will remember your names. Don't worry. I'll avoid delivering any lethal injuries. The overflow of the Sephiroth. Peace and quiet. Patience. There's strength in restraint.
I know some of these surveys takes pretty long.
The show must go on.
I'm not sure if I'm doing the right cards in order. Recast, debuff.
Part of the training. A glimpse. Just another shift. It is here. Please stop this violence. Cet entour révèle les séphirotes.
Nice, the minions are down.
These sheets are my wings. Mon officier n'est pas un capitaine.
The minions are back.
Peace and quiet.
Oh, that's nice. That's taken care of.
Comme l'a scellé le destin. Ich schwor, zu beschützen. Yes, I got this. I
Wait a
can
sec.
do it. I can hear it. It is here. Ich schwor. Yes, I got this. I can do it.
Oh, wait a sec. This.
Dérive dans le flot. I can hear it. It is here. Yes, ich schwor.
There we go.
Schützen und zu helfen. The tremors of fate. Oh, this silence. Tu peux la jeter maintenant. La charme d'opéra. Higher than a bell tower. And even the clouds. I will remember your names. curtain has fallen.
Alright. So that's our survey. We'll start with our thing. In the name of chivalry, old bandage, the scent of blood, an inescapable gloom, ancient oath converge with future duties. Bright light where there is darkness, brings comfort where there is pain. Stage 1, on the inside.
Ich, Marsha, lege feierlich diesen Eid vor meinen Brüdern des Orden ab.
So I, Marsha, before my brethren of the Order, do solemnly take this oath.
Ich gelobe Treue und Gehorsam, allen Besitz zu entsagen, für meine Brüder zu sorgen und den Orden niemals zu verlassen.
I vow loyalty and obedience, to renounce all possession, to care for all my brethren, never to forsake the Order.
Ich gelobe, den Hochlandorden in Ehren zu halten, ihn treu zu verteidigen und meine Pflichten mit unerschütterlicher Hingabe zu erfüllen.
I vow to hold the Hochland Order in reverence, to defend it faithfully, and to fulfill my duty with unwavering devotion.
Ich gelobe, diesen Eid ohne Trug zu wahren, den Gesetzen der Tugend zu folgen und den Rat meiner Brüder zu ehren.
I vow to keep this oath without deceit, to heed the statute of virtue, and to honor the counsel of my brethren,
Bis zum Tage meines Todes.
until the day of my death. A hand rests on her shoulder, bringing it with the weight of enormous responsibility. In the name of our sacred order and with the blessing of the Lord above, we accept your oath. We bestow upon these gifts bread, pure water, and your robes. She puts her hand together and allows the heavy cloak to settle on her shoulder. Another weight shifts on the cloak, a hand. From today onward, you walk the path of a knight.
It is more of a burden than an honor, Marsha.
I understand.
She clutches her hand together, feeling the warm moisture on her palm. The knights fold her hands once more. A rare peace settles over the safe zone, yet it does little to soothe the dead and dying.
Hear my prayer.
Brothers and sisters, you have proven your courage for this day. Do not fear the darkness. I shall pray for you. May you rest in peace and in the light. She finishes her prayers and opens her eyes, composing herself once more. Since her long retreat, they have been forced to tend to the heavily wounded on the move, but for every soldier they save, another succumb to infection. So many lives lost needlessly. If only we had proper facilities or just clean bandages. She lets out a heavy sigh. Marsha moves to comfort her. We done all we could, Marguerite.
There's no need.
Life is precious, but it's not in our hands to decide who lives and who dies. Sister Marsha, Commander Creus is asking for you. I'm on my way. Marsha looks over the dressing station once more before she leaves.
Commander Creus.
I received a report from Razor Squad. They said that you encountered a Hoxton Knight in Sen, not far from the front lines.
Do you mean?
Someone from my order? It seems so. Razor has attempted contact, but she made it clear she has no intention of evacuating. I need you to go to Sen and find out what's going on. We're temporarily put Mantis Vindictive on the back foot, but it's only a matter of time until they come back in force. We can't have these sort of loose ends blunting our efforts. I do believe you will be able to bridge the gap between the Foundation and your former comrade.
I'll do my best.
But the dressing station. We're moving as many of the wounded as we can to the rear tomorrow. To real hospitals, they'll see proper care. There's a train to send in 2 hours. You're to leave as soon as possible. Understood, sir. The knight touches her portrait as she leaves the office.
I'm glad.
It's been so long. She feels a wave of relief, but as soon clings with anxiety. The train pulls into the station with a long whistle. Marsha feels the tension in her neck relax a little as she steps off with the rest of the crowd.
Marsha.
You're finally here. Razor stands watching for Marsha at the station. A look of pained helplessness is written across his face.
What is it?
Mr. Razor, please inform me of the situation in full. You were told about the knights that had refused to speak with us, correct? Well, there's another problem. We got word of Assassin movement from Mantis Vecite in the region. An offensive, perhaps, or at least, the very least, a sensible troop deployment.
But...
Our orders are to clear the area of all civilians, but your old comrade. She refused to budge. He shakes his head begrudgingly.
Why?
He won't evacuate. Do you have any idea why? I think that's something only you can figure out. But if her replies are any indication, he seems intent on fighting Mantis Vecite.
What?
So who's that friend? Is it Senado or is it somebody else? By herself? That seems entirely unreasonable.
Exactly.
Now you see why we wanted you? We know that the Knights of the Hot Chunk Order are powerful. You're living proof of their capabilities. But we can't just let her charge out alone against the Mantis. It'll put our operation here at risk. And we don't want unnecessary bloodshed. Our vows are a secret commitment. It's a little wonder she would want to fight. Still, I don't understand why someone from my order would refuse to cooperate.
What happened?
There must be some reason she is being so stubborn. I wonder what she is after. Marsha keeps that question in mind as she takes her leave from Razor and walks from the station into the city. Stage 2, where we stand now. Wait, what? Emotion, wait, huh? What minigame is this? It was a... Oh. Alright, so that's the controls. Okay, that... I was like, how do you move? This has already seen the full brunt of arcane warfare. Their after effect turning the streets into a twisted mockery of their former existence. But the Foundation succeeded in getting most of the population out before the fighting got too close, leaving the area like a strange lifeless moonscape. According to Mr. Razor, the knight should be somewhere around here. Marsha stands at the court crossroad, taking stock of her surrounding. Closed doors, dark storefronts. Occasional light stirs in the form of passing refugees trudging their most treasured possession towards the evacuation point. Has she already left? Toss, wait! The shout comes from the end of the street. Marsha turns alert and ready for danger. But no sooner does she turn than a tiny form slams into her leg. Watch it, lady. Don't you know there's a war coming? The boy tumbles out onto the street, along with his failed head and everything he's holding. Excuse me, is everything alright, the young man? Are you hurt at all? Marsha crouches down to inspect the boy. Leave me alone. Mama's gonna catch me. The boy gathers his sticks in a rush.
Hold on.
He grabs the boy just as he's about to run, nearly causing him to stumble again. His mother runs towards him, out of breath.
What happened?
Can I call you that? What happened? Why are you running around out here? This place isn't safe. You should go home to your mother. The boy twists with all his strength to break free from Marsha, his thin face flushing. Seeing that he can't escape, his shoulders slumped in frustration. I just want to deliver a gift. A gift? You little brat. The boy's mother at last catches up, puffing with both aspiration and exhaustion. Thank you so much, ma'am. I swear I'd look away for 1 second and he starts charging into trouble. I wasn't charging into trouble. I had to deliver my gift. You always tell me to keep my word. Well, that's what I'm doing. There's no time for that. What if we miss the evacuation train? The boy pouts, but he has no argument.
Don't worry.
Would you let me know what's going on here? Please don't worry. I'm on the mission for the San Pablo Foundation. Marsha points to the badge on her chest.
I'll do my best.
If it's something as simple as delivering a gift, perhaps I can help. Really? The boy wrings himself free and offers Marsha the item he's been carrying. Is this a shield? The construction is somewhat rudimentary, made of wheeled steel with an old belt for the strap, and on the other side, only as long as her forearm, but its purpose is unmistakable. Red paint twists into a shape across its rough surface. It's difficult to make sense of, but it seems to portray the silhouette of a building on a hill. My little Sat has a bad fever. With the way things were, we were worried we wouldn't be able to get him to a doctor. But then we came across this woman. Oh, she was wearing armor just like you. The woman points towards Marsha's pauldron, a bit surprised. She shields Sat, and to repay her kindness, he wanted to give her a shield to match her armor. My husband, he helped to make it from an old bucket. With the evacuation order and all the packing, we haven't had time to give it to her. I'll put it away for later. But then, Sten's happened to find it, and since then, I haven't had a moment's peace.
Do you mean?
The sigil on the shield, is it meant to be a castle on the hill? That's right. Are you? Yes, a fellow member of her order. I'm looking for her. Have you any idea where she is, and did you happen to get her name? Within an old but tiny house, a kettle begins to roll and cry with steam. A woman in knightly armor sits in the wooden chair, cleaning her helmet with care. It bears the scratches and scuff of untold numbers of battles, yet It's clearly been maintained. A knock at the door breaks the rhythm of her work. Who is it? Sister Adelhin, are you in there? The sound is soft and faint, filtered by the door, but Adelhin feels her heart skip.
Adelheid.
It's me, Marsha. It's a voice she could never mistake. Her palms feel numb as she moves towards the door. She almost involuntarily jerks it open. The face she sees behind the door is both everything she feared and hoped for. A face she once thought gone and buried. A face that elegant grief and sorrow in every reflection. But now, all she feels is joy.
I'm glad.
I don't know. It's really you. I'm so glad. The woman in front of her is tired. Maybe from the long journey, but breathing radiant warmth. Not a skeleton, not even rodents or nightmare. Living, breathing at her doorstep.
Marsha?
It's a miracle, Marsha. You're here. You're alive. She suddenly steps towards her, her hands stretched outward, but she freezes in place from shock at all or fear. She can't say. Yet Marsha reaches in and pulls her into the warm embrace.
Adelheid.
I survived Dead Man's Hill. I'm so glad you did as well. It is true blessing being able to reunite in times of war. Edenheim lets out a warm drawn breath and nestles into a hug, before breaking it with a assuring pat.
Yes.
Come inside. The winter has come nearly this year. Comes early this year. I'd rather not let the chill in. I have something for you, a gift of thanks from Saf. The rough shield is delivered to the knight as promised. Edenheim takes it and turns it into her hand. I will have to give him a proper thank you, should we ever chance to meet again. His family has done me a great service. They helped me find this place.
However...
But Marsha, I must know, how did you manage to survive? The question is asked alongside an offered cup of tea. The curling's team masks the betrayal of the heart of her answer. I was injured during the fight, but when I went down, I thought perhaps I would die, but my armor had saved me from the worst of the damage. I used my training and waited. I just stayed still, sealing away every thought and pain in my body until a medical team from the Foundation discovered me. I recovered under their care. But your armor... This was all that was sizable from the medics after the medics cut me free. But I could never fully part with it. Not that it matters much. Armor is more of a hindrance than an aid for the battlefield now. We have always clung to our tradition, perhaps even after we were no longer of use. She studied Marsha as she speaks, taking notes of her uniform beneath the pauldron. No longer a knight, but not a soldier either, a nurse's frock. And on the new uniform, an unexpected badge, one she's immediately recognized from the stir of version.
Why?
And the hell, why are you out here alone? Where are the other members of our order? Edenheim takes a long sip of her tea, as if trying to swallow down questions she hasn't yet found the courage to ask.
The order.
A lot has happened in the order. I suppose, first of all, I am now its acting Grand Master. In the event of the Grand Master's death, the role is passed on to the knight with the highest seniority until a new leader is confirmed. Neither needs to remind the other of this plain fact.
What?
What happened to Master Herman? It is as you feared. He's dead. Marsha can't help but draw a sharp breath.
What happened?
Less than a month ago. I heard nothing about it.
Back then,
Surely you know that Manus Vegicte rose out from the shadows. That they unleashed a war on all humanity rather than face the consequence of their manipulation. But their earlier infiltration was deeper even than anyone has known. Every communication network has been compromised or crippled, including ours. You have been away from the Order for too long. It's only natural that you wouldn't know. Marsha tightens her grip on the cup. There's a needle-like agitation in her words. Master Herman has led for more than a decade. Thought as a young novice and later knight that she has little direct contact with. But she knew, as all brave young soldiers of the Order did, that Herman was a model of charity. Brave, loyal, strict, and maybe a little too rigid, but a man worth looking up to. How did he die? The idea that a man of such virtue and wisdom was gone, that he has fallen in some God-forsaken battle, twisted in her heart. He was killed in our very castle. Whoever did it framed things to look like it was a suicide, but I saw the scene with my own eyes. There's a struggle in that room.
however...
Yet, the Order was under pressure from the government. The others decided to brush the investigation under the rug, rather than face the possibility that we have been compromised like the army. I went through this letter and diary. He already notified the shadows of Mantis Vegicte operating in her ranks. Master Herman was loyal to his oaths and to us. He must have been attempting to expose them.
The Order...
But even so, once the military involvement with the Mantis was revealed, things started to fall apart. There were only one thing that all of us realized. We had been betrayed. With the armorers coming, we withdrew the fighting to determine what to do next. But even as we left the front, the division began to show. Some wanted to return to Hochstross and build it into an independent state, to carve out our own personal kingdom as if it was an ancient past.
I disagree.
Had they learned nothing from the war, how were Mountain Knights supposed to rule in the time of machine guns and tanks?
Yes.
I think they understood the futility. Maybe they even realized how foolish they were being. But when all else falls apart, people often turn to nostalgia and tradition. They face into a bleak future and choose to believe in those idyllic pasts. But there was a greater tragedy. Manus Vegicte has been the main force home. They ransacked the castle, killed its defender, and left it in ruins. Annaheld puts down her cup. Its bottom clicks as it hits the table. Centuries of wealth accumulated by the Order, and all the rewards of its glory were gone. Our treasures were doubtful being melted down to fuel their schemes. Marsha closes her eyes. She knows every room, every corridor, every pillar of the castle. It was her home. She imagined all those familiar things being torn apart down, stripped, sold for parts, and melted into scraps. A firestorm of anger and humiliation wells up inside her, but years of training kicks in as she calms herself with arcane skill. I hope the castle itself has been restored. Now emotion falls away. The reason takes over. Something clicks in her mind. Is that why you haven't left the place? Adenha's lips curved.
Marsha.
So then you have come to me on behalf of your foundation. To be continued. Let's see, how many are we have to go through? We have up to chapter... Wait, what? So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have... Yeah. I'm wondering what the Moldor's story is going to be like too if we finish this early. We still have... We're on 2s and there's 6 more. So usually these stories have around 7 or 8 stages. So this one should have 8. Should have 8. Stage 3. The first lesson. Marsha falls silent. She looks at Adele, and Adele looks back, measuring her. I won't deny that I was sent here by them. Then at the very least, you have not sacrificed your honesty along with the rest of your secret vows. I will never lie to or deceive another of an order, least of all you.
But
There's no contradiction between my mission and my loyalty to you. And the hell, you raised me. The order gave me a home and a purpose. I will always care for you and the safety of our people. She chose each word carefully but sincerely. Her mental holds a long silence, leaving only the sound of the windows rattling in the wind. At last, she breaks the quiet with attention. In 2 days, a convoy from Manus Vindicte will pass through Renjoiwa, carrying all that has been stolen from us. As acting Grand Master, I cannot allow them to escape with their plunder, not after failing to prevent their raid in the first place. I will not allow this opportunity to pass untaken. But Manus Vindicte has weapons enhanced with arcane skill. You're only one knight. You can't do this alone. The danger is too great. Maybe you can work something out with the Foundation so that...
Danger.
Adele repeats the word under her breath, like a rebuff. He killed Master Herman and violated the sanctuary of her home. If our vows mean anything at all, I must answer these transgressions, to leave without avenging it.
Dies ist die schwerste Gefahr, der sich ein Ritter stellen kann.
This is the gravest danger a knight has ever faced. The order may be much diminished, but we are not so base as to ask precautionary to fight our battles. Adele words lands with weight. Her expression is cold and points of fact. The warmth and joy she has shown to Marsha is gone. Now, she speaks her words as she would, and certainly has, to any other St. Pavlo Foundation employee. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have brought it up. The pale sunlight outside the window cuts deep shadows across Adele's face. But then Marsha noticed something in that cold detachment and pulls her friend close fist into her hand. Marsha. Anger, sadness, and disappointment begins to pass through her interlaced fingers into the young light. The older woman exhales, relieved. Her emotions, too long dammed up, are now passed into another's hand. We're absorbing all the emptiness. So what does emptiness look like? Emptiness is... Okay, so it's just not all red, but red with white. Oh! I clicked the wrong one? Wait, was that all red? Oh no! That means I can't, okay. So I have to power up before I can absorb those. Grab the 30. Nice. And now we level up to. Oh, yeah, run away, run away. Wait, we'll get these. Oh, they bounced me off. $50. Let's get to 50. Okay, let's I will power up a little bit. Alright, there. Okay, that should be enough to grab both of them, I think. Okay, come on. 12 seconds left. Run! We got it. So that's our power. Hers is to
too heavy a burden, Adelheid.
like any like depression or let's see anxiety. I think she's able to absorb it and make it like like, for everyone to be calm or like more like stable. You're born just way too long, Adele. We are sworn to carry each other's burden. You may doubt me, but I have not forgotten my vow. Those words make us sisters, and I will never forsake that bond. She can feel Adeno's emotions spin over the word. A rush of anger, pain, and sorrow floods between them.
Well then.
You say you remember our teaching. Do you not remember the danger in taking in another's emotion? It is a last resort, one used only in times of great peril. Did I fail to impress that lesson onto you, too? Marsha smiles, feeling like the clueless young novice he once was, with a rush of embarrassment, then guilt, but also affection.
But
You taught me to put the needs of my comrades above all other things, that including sharing their pain and their duties. So allow me to fight with you. If we stand together, we may stand a chance at succeeding. I won't leave you to fight this battle alone, sister. I don't presume to think I could tell you no. You never listened to a word I said. Marsha looks up at her mentor, feeling a hot rush of pride passing through her. We leave at dawn. The crashing of the waves on the rocky shore does its best to drown out the little whimpers below.
Marsha.
I knew I found you here, Marsha. Wait, so this is a flashback, right? I think this is when Marsha was young. The young girl looks up, her face streaked with tears.
What's going on?
It was the other novices again, wasn't it? Marsha wipes her tears from her sleeve, but the spray of seawater has left her robes too damp to dry her face. What should I do, master? Anaha lowers herself to the rocky hurdle along with her. What do you think you should do, Sister Marsha? I tried to leave them alone, but just do what I'm told, but...
I'm afraid not.
A warm, broad hand brushes the girl's tears. She looks up at her caretaker, confused. They accept you because you allowed them. You showed them fear, and they seized on it. Wolves do not strike a standing deer. The hunt begins only after they put them to fight. Then, be as a stag in the forest. When they push you, show no fear. Turn your antlers on them. Fight back. But they're taller than me, and stronger. Strength will come as you train. Height too. So long as you remember to eat your vegetables.
Show everyone that you won't be trampled underfoot.
You must show them that you won't run. They may howl and bark. You may even lose a battle, but you must show them all above all else.
You have the courage to fight back.
You are to be a knight, Sister Marsha. A true knight does not falter, nor does she pout. Adahel offers a reassuring pat on the young girl's shoulder. I know. I want to be a true knight, brave and strong. She says the word with both innocence and ambition. The waves crash again against the rocks again, like a drumming of a coming battle. Marsha opens her eyes. In the dark room, the only thing she can see is a faint metallic shimmer of light glinting off her potion. Good. I don't need to wake you. By the window, Adahel is ready packing. Stan's shield is fastened at her waist. Marsha lets out a long breath. Please wait, Adahel. I'll be ready in a minute. Soon, Marsha shoulders her first aid crate and heads out with Adahel. Alright, let's continue. We're doing stage 4, the second lesson. The two knights begin their journey across the war-torn countryside and reaches Rijua by nightfall. They stop at the outskirts of the town, already dilapidated before the war. A maze of husked-out ruins and empty buildings. Their convoy should pass through here this time of tomorrow. The roads narrow here before passing through the town center. It will force them to slow and move in single file. This is where we launch our attack. Adahel surveys her surroundings and points to the only path leading through the town. The houses here are all abandoned, most left in a hurry. There should still be some things left behind. We can borrow this house for the night. Marsha walks to the back of the house and examines it carefully. Under the eave, a string of dried nettle and arrows sways in the wind. Marsha touches them, sweeping the dust away.
I can hardly believe it.
Has the Foundation given you a leave to come along with me? I reported back to my commander and to Mr. Razor. At any rate, my task was to convince you to leave Sen. I will say this is an interpretation of those orders. Well, I guess they did live at Sen, but a different village. He doesn't respond. The brisk wind passing through the old town rises to fill the void.
Marsha,
I'm truly glad you survived.
you've broken your vow.
But I don't understand your decision. Why didn't you ever attempt to contact us? Why would you want to leave our order? I shall never forsake the order, nor shall I hold falsely to another. Marsha has made these solemn oaths the day she became a knight. She has been waiting for those questions, actuation even, but when they arrived, she found out that Adadel's tone was far gentler than she expected.
I could not bear to take another soldier's life.
The path of knighthood should not be one of endless slaughter on the battlefields. If I returned to the order, if I had stayed a knight, I would have been forced to fight, kill, and die. Absolute loyalty to the order and unquestioning obedience to authority. That was a demand made on all those who sworn its oath, and one of the few she ever doubted. I dealt with this foundation of yours before. I admit their intention seems noble, but they have done some good, yet I also know they've been recruiting soldiers and amassing military strength.
I'm afraid not.
Your foundation will soon command an army. moving between countries and acting according to their own authority. An organization with no oversight and no accountability. In many ways, they are as dangerous as Mantis Victor today. I agree entirely.
But
I I have chosen to put my faith in them and what my own eyes have seen of their work. And with the foundation, I'm free to do the work that I believe in, to save lives, not end them. I can do so much more good with them than I ever could before. Her mentor shakes her head ruefully.
I cannot approve that.
What you've done is without precedent in no order.
I understand.
Marsha doesn't rush to pursue her. She only focuses on what matters most to her. I never truly abandoned my vows as a knight. And words for the sake of the order.
Adelheid.
What are you gonna do, master? The woman pauses, composing her thoughts and vision of the future. After I clean our treasured relics and return them, I shall begin a search for all our scattered knights. I don't know what comes after that. I will allow our future to unwind as it will. Though I'm certain it does not include setting up our own feudal state out of our old castle. Marsha noticed the confusion in Adadal's words. Grandmaster, may I share my thought with you? Yes.
I want to rebuild the Hochland Order as a humanitarian medical relief organization. That way, our knights can be freed from further bloodshed and return to the Order's greater purpose.
He gives weight to the young knight's words, whether out of respect or genuine consideration.
I cannot approve that.
That is not who we are, sister. Marsha has expected her mentor reluctantly, but she pursed her lips and doesn't back down. Adnahal, please consider the possibilities. I have given this a great deal of thought.
I still remember.
Still, joining the Foundation and assisting people as a medic and a nurse, I had a chance to reflect on the things you taught me. You told me yourself that our orders was founded as a place of healing for wounded soldiers and victims of war. Couldn't that be true again? Adele goes blank. That familiar look of forcibly suppressed emotion crosses her face. Then she simply turns and walks into a nearby house. It's late. We need to rest. Marsha renames outside the door and lifts her gaze. Low clouds drift overhead like the palm of a giant, ready to close in, offering no escape. Marsha limps into the castle. Her figure looks small beneath the towering columns. A shadow falls over her, swallowing her entirely. Adadal! The knight wears a stern expression. He seems to have been waiting for some time. I watched your training today. You were ordered to fall back, yet you choose to stay behind and hold off the pursuers. Yes, ma'am. What was your reason? They were wounded. Someone had to buy them, eat them time, or the whole team might have been caught. And you believe your sacrifice will guarantee their escape? Mission accomplished? Is that correct? Yes, ma'am. And did you buy them enough time? No, ma'am. After I died, the pursuer caught up with the rest of the team. Her heroic sacrifice ended prematurely. Tapped by a blunted spear, he was declared dead and put out of the fight. You stayed behind alone without any cover, without a plan. All you ended up doing was throwing your life away. The young knight is struck by the master's criticism, but she steels herself and defends her choice. The problem was our choice of evacuation route.
But
If we had attempted the other mountain pass, where the path was narrow, I would have been able to buy them enough time.
this is my choice.
A knight, a true knight, is never afraid of death in the service of duty. She looks up at Edadel, staring straight into her eyes, her lips pressed into the hard line.
What if...
And if there is no narrow path next time, what if you cannot guarantee your sacrifice will mean anything at all?
Marsha.
Do you think I don't know you, child? It wouldn't have made a difference. You always act recklessly. You volunteer to man the battering rams without even knowing how it works. You're the first to the front in every shield wall and the first to leap into every fight.
You were too bold. It seemed as if you would not accept any fate except that of a martyr.
You've been too effective, I fear. I turned a scared little girl into a would-be martyr. Her tone is self-critical, but she softens as she leans towards Marsha.
I understand.
I know you're eager to prove yourself. You want to show you're worthy of our vows with great act of sacrifice. You want people to forget that you were some lost orphan, discarded in the snow.
Marsha.
That you are, instead, a valiant knight, a fighter's worth celebrating through the ages. Isn't that right, Marsha? Marsha freezes, her face flushing hot. Her deepest desire has been laid bare with complete precision. Yes, it's true.
However...
You replace your fear with bravado, but you haven't learned to use your courage effectively, making you foolhardy. Annabelle turns in motion for Marsha to follow.
Adelheid.
Where are you going? Their footsteps echoes through the empty hallway. Time seeming to slip away in the rhythm tone. A new lesson. Something is just as important as bravery. Yes?
Cherish your life.
Recklessness does not waste your courage. It puts your commerce in danger as well. Marsha, do you know why the Hong Order was founded?
I still remember.
You told me before it was created to tend to wounded soldiers. I think it's time to teach you its history in detail. Edadel stops and opens the library door behind them. The night is dark. Not a single light nor star illuminates the space beyond her view. Marsha listens to the rustling that pulls her from her sleep. Someone has slipped inside in the middle of the night and is rummaging around for something. All but invisible in the darkness. She can spy Adadel stirring awake. Without engaging a word, they both continue to faint asleep, waiting for the intruders to come closer.
Shoot.
Damn it, nothing here. Don't wake him up. The low whispers come from two men. They creep towards the cabinet above the knight's head. Maybe that's what they're after. If it's not here, we have to get back. Before he can finish the sentence, the frightened man suddenly realizes he can't move. His body is pinned to the floor. He turns his head with difficulty, only to see a gun pressed against his partner's head. Wait! We were only looking for medicine. We didn't mean any harm. The red-haired woman tightens her grip on his wrists. Medicine? Who are you? To be continued. So stage 5, Ask Their Shield. Marsha presses a piece of gauze to the man's cheek. A cut from the rough wall she pulls into him into. Adesel holds her pistol and folds her arm, listening to the other man. My name is Mikhail, and the man you're pinning against the wall is my comrade, Alexis. We're from the nearby Dorgovgun. Are you soldiers? Yes, we were in Brest when the armistice was signed. At first, they sent us back to recover at the hospital in town, but then things started to fall apart. We've been looking through these old buildings for medicine supplies, anything we could use to help the wounded there. We thought maybe we could bring them back something before we got out of here. The hospital is really desperate for supplies.
What happened?
What happened to the hospital? Mikhail glances between Marsha and Edidel, and his eyes brighten when they notice the badge on Marsha's chest. A few days ago, there was a chatter that Manus Vindictus was launching an attack. But no one took it seriously. We thought they were on the run. Then they hit us in force. In just a few days, they overran what was left of the army and seized control of all supply routes. Now they're squeezing the life out of every last pocket of resistance. We know they hit Devon any day now, but there's no way to evacuate the wounded safely. Ma'am, you're from the San Pablo Foundation, aren't you? I recognize your badge. Raquel pleasing glaze on Marsha says what he cannot. That's correct, Mahel. Do you know how many people are still in the hospital? About 100. Mostly the wounded that are too weak to move, along with the doctors and nurses. What will happen if Manus Vindictus surrounds the hospital? The scenery plays out in Marsha's mind and inevitable ends.
Don't worry.
I will contact the Foundation and send, explain the situation and request immediate support. But they won't have time to get here before the Mantis. Before then... Marsha looks at Edidel. Her head has dipped, happy with thought of her own. Mikhail, I need to discuss this with my comrade.
I'll do my best.
If possible, I will join you at the hospital and do what I can to assist you until the Foundation arrives. Thank you. Behind them, Edidel has opened the door and briskly steps outside. Outside the house, Edidel removes the little shield hanging at her waist. Sheathed in metals with rough wheel, never properly polished. Its uneven edge stings her palms as she turns it in her hand.
What if...
By this time tomorrow, we may have reclaimed our stolen relics, but all the wealth and history in our order lies just out of grasp. The thin morning light turns the distant horizon pale.
But...
By this time tomorrow, the hospital, and all the people inside, may be nothing more than a charred ruin.
Adelheid.
These people need our help. Edidel frowns, yet her eyes can't help tracing the simple strokes painted across the shield. Cess has never seen their home. He has no idea what some hotch loss actually looks like. But through Ediden's words, it seems he imagined it as a kneeling tower that stood tall atop a mountain for 1,000 years. A castle where generations of knights lived, fighting for justice of the weak and the needy. The place she has left before coming to Sen, where she has met a boy in need of help, the boy who painted this tall and noble tower. Losing the relics have laid our shame bare to the whole world. As acting Grand Master, I failed to stop them. I was derelict in my most sacred duty. Now, I have the chance to right that injustice. I cannot allow them to escape. If the Order is to survive, we must reclaim those priceless treasure. Edina looks down the road towards the town center, conflict tightening her expression.
You shall be the shield that protects the weak.
Edina replies with a dry, bitter laugh. We always recite the words from the Code of Chivalry and the Knight's Vow before we march.
Whether to defend a knight's honor or save precious lives, such things ought not be weighed against one another. However...
Yet, here we are, forced to decide. Marsha walks up to her mentor and comrade in arms.
Adelheid.
Remind me, Sister Adeline, why did you receive the shield? She replies with a sharp glance deep with turmoil.
Back then...
A boy lingers in Death's hand, sick with a deadly fever, but I cured him. In turn, I suppose he wanted to protect me. It may not be the equal of our greatest relics, but it was given with a noble intention. Neither needs say the obvious. A bullet will pass through that thin sheet of metal like it was paper, but Adeline plans to carry it into battle with all the same. Our vows have always been in service to people like him, without expectation of reward. That single act of mercy is more worthy of our vows than 1,000 glittered relics and chests of looted gold. That shield is proof of your honor as a knight. I don't see a dilemma in all. Marsha's voice is as soft as rustling grass. She knows she's challenging everything her mentor has ever held dear, but she will not let it go unsaid. If we miss this opportunity, there may never be another chance to reclaim what we lost. But the Order has a long way ahead. And long enough for us to restore its glory and fill the empty castle once more. Let it begin with that rusty shield. Let it be a sign of what it has to be a true knight. Marsha stands firm. She can sense her old master hesitating. All she needs is a little gentle push. Yet, for as much as it might herald a new beginning, that tower on her shield is also a reminder of her roots.
You've changed.
I remember when you were the one who couldn't wait to face the enemy, leaping to your death instead of falling back to care for the wounded. Marsha smiled softly.
I just hope that the changes I have gone through will lead me to a brighter future.
The war changed us. It changed us everything. In ways we cannot be undone. But I believe the changes I went through have a purpose. With 2 Hochlands knights in their defense, the hospital may just hold out until the Foundation's support arrives. Marsha exhales in relief. Thank you, Edithel. She smiles and then takes out her communicator. Mr. Razor, we have an emergency. Edithel gives the shield one last glance before fastening it back to her waist. We're getting attacked in the hospital! The 4 of them waste no time and reaches Zervan by noon. They can spy the hospital from the end of the road. But something else comes into view as well. Rising smoke. Damn it! They're already here!
Hold on!
Wait, Alexis! Marsha grabs the soldier just before he begins to charge. She fixes her focus on the distant scene. The smoke isn't coming from the hospital. It's ringing outside. They're still fighting. Huh. What's that? In the bright flare of exploding grenades, hardened steel flashes silver, and horses paint and wonder as they pound across the concrete. That can only be the Order. They're here. They're fighting Mantis Vindicte. Adenel's voice lifts with each word.
What?
Then there were other knights nearby? After the initial shock, Marsha nearly cries out in joy and relief. Hurry, let's move! He releases Ecclesia as they all begin to dash forward towards the battle. Adahel follows a few steps behind. You can see Marsha from the back. All of a sudden, it seems as you were that hood-fully girl once more. But then the wind lifts the edge of her grayish-green cloak, revealing a glimpse of the nurse's uniform beneath. The unexpected arrival of a dozen knights of the Horse's Order catches the splinter force of Mantis Vindicte completely off guard. Outside the hospital, the knights mop up, ensuring the threat is completely neutralized.
Mr. Razor.
The hospital is safe. We run the Mantis off for now. Thanks for the Horse's Order. I need to speak with the head of the hospital and assess our situation.
Reinforcements will arrive soon.
Your requested reinforcements are still en route. Even the mantis aren't a threat for now. The hospital needs to be evacuated. Understood. This is Marsha. Just as Marsha finished her report, she is suddenly pulled into the warm, excited embrace. My dear Marsha, you're alive! A familiar face brightens on her like a golden sun. Her childhood sparring partner leaps towards her with a beaming smile. Marsha hugs her back just as tightly.
I'm glad.
Yes, hello. I'm alive. I'm so glad we found you here. But why are you here?
It was an accident.
We weren't supposed to come this way, but we heard from some of the evacuees that the hospital was in trouble. We rode as fast as we could. God be good, we made it in time.
Thank goodness.
And on top of that, to find you and Master Adadel together. It is truly a blessed day, sister. Adadel does not interrupt the reunion between comrades. She listens to Helgrad as the victorious warrior beams with yet more words of joy and knightly clan, drifting deep into thought. To be continued. Stage 6. Analgesic method. Although Mantis Vegeta had been driven off, the battle has only worsened the hospital's condition. Its corridors, already crowded, have received a new influx of wounded. Coughs and low groans echoes out even past the doors. What knight and soldiers can help move the wounded though to have all the way to a makeshift church. We have to go. We're all gonna die. A soldier on one of the beds suddenly trashed upright, shoving away the nurse who was trying to stimulate his bleeding. The nurse grips his shoulder to steady him. Another doctor rushes over with several strips of cloth, trying to tie the soldier's arm to the side of the bed. But he only struggles harder. Doctor, we need a sedative. No. This post is too weak. Someone hold him down. Just then, a hand covered in armor reaches in, presses gently on the soldier's forehead. Sister Marsha! In short order, Marsha has made herself indispensable to the staff here as they treated the wound and dying as best as they can.
Don't worry.
I used my arcane skill to calm down the room. You should be able to treat him now. She moves between wards, her pale face running damp with sweat. Phew, sister, you arrived just in time. On the bed, the soldier murmurs softly, and his movements slow. The doctors quickly bind his limbs and begin stitching the wounds. Sister Marsha. Marsha turns to see Mahel at the doorway, accompanied by a woman in a nun's uniform. Marsha checks the soldier for a moment more. When the doctor gives him or her a nod, she steps towards the door. I am Mother Superior Irene, and you must be the woman from the Foundation. She takes hold of Marsha's hand in a firm but gentle grasp. God bless you for what you have done here. I've done very little, Reverend Mother. The Knights of the Harsher Order arrived before we did. But more support from the Foundation is on its way. They should arrive before nightfall. Any help they can provide is already a miracle. There are still so many wounded here. These young men all need help we can give them. She looks around the hospital, her expression heavy with grief. We had hoped there would be finally an end to all this bloodshed after the armistice, but it seems the war continues, just wearing a different face. With the rumors of bandits and violence further east, everyone is worried about their families. But they want to help. You want to bring an end to this violence.
I'll do my best.
I will see about securing the passage home, Reverend Mother. I'm certain the Foundation will appreciate whatever help they can offer. The nun thanks Marsha once again, even more effectively than the last time. Mother Irene. A painting nurse brushes down the hallway, holding an empty glass bottle. We're out of ether. There's only one bottle left in the warehouse. More bad news arrive, and the beautiful woman responds. She must weigh the value of each resource against the lives and suffering around her. Prioritize surgery. We need to make this bottle last until this evening. For the others, we have to rely on pressure and immobilization. Have we any alcohol left? The nurses nod. A shame it's all ethyl, more than anything. I think these boys need a stiff drink. But in lieu of that, soak some syrup with it and use them as a topical salve. He turns to Marsha. Sister, would you mind relaying the urgency of our situation to Foundation once more?
Don't worry.
Of course. Marsha looks around the room and sees another knight in silver armor working through her injury and pain to assist the belligerent hospital staff. She tightens her trembling hand, then makes a resolute decision. Reverend Mother, perhaps there's something more I can do? What are the guild orbs? Guild orbs are... okay. Whoa! Whoa! Well, that would... okay, that was okay. No! Alright, so absorb this one too. Go to 52. We're done! Early in the morning, Annabelle moves through the hospital, searching for someone. Sister Helgard, have you seen Marsha? Helgard pauses for the question. She's been boarding up doors and windows since the evening prior. I passed about her about a half hour ago. She was coming out of the operating room. Why? I haven't been able to find her.
What's going on?
What was she doing in the operating room? Oh, I can explain. A nearby nurse pushes the medicine cabinet as it breaks against the door and jolts the conversation. After we ran out on sick last night, Sister Marsha offered to use her arcane skill to help the men through their surgery. Last I saw her, she was headed to the storage room. Annabelle exchanged a knowing look with Helgard, her eyebrows knit tightly. Do you have any ice, nurse? We need a bucketful of more. Nothing we can spare here, no, but for some of the soldiers found an ice room in the cellar of the old building nearby. It was quite large. I think perhaps it was for a restaurant. We've been sending parties to collect ice from it from time to time. But there should be plenty left. But what do we need... Wait, but what do you need ice for?
No need to worry.
Worry not. We will take care of it. Hilgard, fetch the ice and brings it to the storage room. Now. That foolhardy girl, she pushed herself as far beyond her limits. I'm certain of it. I doubt she can even move with all the pain she's taken in. As Annabelle enters the storage room, her suspicion is immediately confirmed by the slow, ragged breath that heaves out from the corner. In the room of empty boxes, old sheets, and broken things, she finds Marsha curled up against the wall. Her eyes are shut, Tears and sweat from a confluence of rivers as they poured down her cheeks and neck. Marsha! Eldor hurries to her side and knees her gently to the floor. At just a touch, she can feel the burning heat resonating from her body. I don't know.
Leave it to me.
Don't speak. Slow your breathing. There's nothing for it now. You must simply endure. Igor is bringing some ice water. We'll cool you down just like we used to back home. Do you remember that? I know you always fear the cold. You have every reason, but you won't survive this heat. Marsha gives a small nod, forcing a faint apologetic smile.
I understand.
You just won't be content until you die, Imara, will you? Why would you do something so reckless? Every time you take in someone else's pain, you put your own life at risk. I know, but I have you. Marsha grasps the words out between the eaves, her voice weak. Annabelle is struck in waves, concern, then fury, pity, and lastly, pride. Had there been no other nights in the hospital, Marsha might have looked for another option. But she knew the others would understand what she's done and what to do. It wasn't reckless. It was a calculated risk, an act of complete trust in her comrades in arms. Promise me, Marsha. Swear by your earth you will never do this to me again. Marsha! The other knights arrive hailing a tub and bucket of ice water, barking orders back and forth as they clear space in the crowded room. Together, they lift Marsha up and release her into icy water. Burning heat hits icy cold. The class is severe, sharp, painful, sending her into a convulsing shiver as she sank into the tub. Words fail to breach through her now crackling teeth. Hot and cold slams into one another like the beginning of a cyclone. The pain swirls in her, tearing her thoughts apart. Her vision darkens.
Marsha?
She falls back into the abyss. To be continued. So stage 7. The ego and the firewood. Alright, so let's see. Oh, we don't want to touch. Wait, where's spot? Okay. Oh, sorry. What did it hit? Well, that's where they hit those things. Okay. Fine. $38. Okay. Where's okay? There's another 40. Got Hiya! Right now, Freya. The centurion lifts his hooves and charges into the fierce alpine wind. Above them, an eagle flies, its broad and powerful wings cutting through the sky like a golden arrow.
Look above us. It's wonderful to see Verena flying so high after her recovery.
Marsha gazes at the soaring raptor, her young face lit with excitement. She has found the injured eaglet beneath a mountain ridge a month ago and took it under its care. Now, as if a gift of honor for her 18th birthday, her charge once again takes flight. A good omen, she hopes, for her own ceremony, with the swearing of her sacred vows to the order. On this day, dressed in her finest robe, she will become a true knight. Today, Freya, I will become a knight of the order, sworn to fight in its honor. I submitted an application too. If the Grand Master accepts, I'll be training as a pilot. She leans down to share her secret dream with the horse as they rode forward.
I just hope that...
Then, I'll fly through the air just like Verena. I can't even imagine what it must be like to see the world from above. They say that once you're high enough, the whole world just looks like moss growing over a rock. The young novice spurs her horse, giving chase to the tremendous eagle. She is about to become a knight and soon a pilot flying over the field of battle. With the wind whipping past her ear, she feels as if she's already flying, the wind through fire and blood towards the future glory.
Skill and courage alone.
Up
Decide
there in the
victory and defeat.
Up in the sky, skills like courage alone decides victory and defeat. Just like jousting knights in the old days. Up there, she can bring victory and honor to the order, her nation. She loses herself in a vision. In her mind, she imagines herself as an eagle, looking down at the world as she swoops between the clouds. The boundary between earth and sky dissolves. Her dreams feel close enough to touch. Faster, Freya. We have to keep up. The horse answers with a loud neigh. It sounds like agreement. She races wherever the night heart leads, swiftly as a flash. No field is vast for them. Glory, bravery, loyalty. These are virtue and the triumph of a knight. Galloping hard, Marsha believes her path lies wherever her word guides her. At last, the eagle becomes more than a gray speck of the horizon, and Marsha allows her steed to slow and rest. Her dream slides off on the back of those golden wings until...
Marsha.
There you are, Marsha. Marsha steps out from her reverend. She dismounts in a flash and rushes towards her teacher.
Adelaide!
Adelaide, did your reply come? Did the Grandmaster approve of my application? Adelaide sighs. I'm sorry, Marsha, but you've been assigned to the 15th Infantry Regiment. You depart in 1 week. Adelaide grips Marsha's shoulder firmly, trying to temper her young novice enthusiasm with a serious look.
There's nothing romantic about the field of battle, Marsha.
You must be ready to take care of yourself. At the time, Marsha couldn't fully understand the gravity of her mentor's words. Though she did not live out her dreams, she was still excited to serve her order. Able to finally march out and win glory as a knight. Marsha wakes with a deep ache in her bones. Her heartbeat drums in her ear. The ice water has done its job, easing the worst of her pain. She lies on a makeshift bed of sheets, her clothes already dry. I need to thank Adele properly. She sits up, and the first thing that meets her eye is a pair of hands. The nails are uneven, thick calluses cover the joints. The dry skin is cracked, and the bronze stains linger around their fingertips. They are the hardened hands of a trained knight, reshaped by disinfectant and iodine. Who can check on Ilya? His wounds may have been infected. Marsha steps out from the storage room. I have Deccan's solution here. Marsha returns to her work as though nothing has ever happened, though the words of her mentor lingers in the back of her mind.
Don't worry.
Let me clean this wound. She returns to the patient and leaves the past behind. The stars and the moon hang in the sky once more, but there's no sign of reinforcements or relief as Marsha calls to make her report.
Commander Creus.
Sir, if possible, I hope the Foundation will be able to transfer the heavily wounded to safer territories. I will speak with Razor and leave the matter to him. Mr. Razor was supposed to meet me in town this evening, but I haven't been able to reach him. I received a report that he made contact with Mantis Vindicte along the way, but as soon as he mops up the little problem, he should arrive at the hospital without delay. Marsha allows herself to relax. Tense, aching muscles finally slacks, though the change may be imperceptible to most. Good, then I will await his arrival.
But
There are some soldiers here from from out east, the Don region. They heard about the fighting there and wanted to help. Can transportation be arranged? Also, I submitted a request to remain here and assist the hospital staff until the evacuation is complete. Approved and arranged, though I expect you to accompany them on their journey back. The Timekeeper's team will be headed that way as well. Your next mission is to support Xeno allies in the fight and to rendezvous with the Timekeeper's team to assist them in whatever they need. Understood, sir. Hold on, soldier. Mind if I ask you about your friend from the Order? They'll be staying behind here as well for the time being. We're working together to get the wounded treated and evacuate safely. Right. Here's hoping this will make a change in the rocky relationship. Keep me updated. Yes, sir.
Marsha.
Marsha hears someone calling her name. Not far away, several knights sit together in a loose circle. Soft laughter drifting from the group. Hidden Guard waves at her. Feeling better?
don't worry.
Yes. I'm sorry for making you worry. Hidden Guard waves her hand.
Thank goodness.
I'm just glad Elena found you when she did. I'm not sure if you would have lasted much longer. Marsha sits down beside her. What are you talking about? Old memories. Remember all the chores we had to do when we were novices. Under the night sky, the night's face lit up as a
I
remnants.
still remember.
I remember carrying up those bundles of firewood that were nearly as tall as we were. Yeah, and it wasn't even our job most of the time. Not every would-be knight would have a pure heart. Some of the older novice would often slack off and bully the younger kids into doing their work. All the way up to the hill, 3 or 4 of us at a time, and the nuns would never hold together. I remember we tried to chase the ones that fell out as they rolled off the side, tumbling into the woods. The two young novices would simply sit at the edge of the slope and sigh.
But
I always loved the stories you told about them. Those falling pieces were actually adventurous wood sprites we had freed from the roots, and now they were traveling to distant lands. They would talk to the wind, do battles with legions of insects and beasts, float along rivers, and eventually rest on the shore, waiting for the new journey to begin. Haha, what can I say? I always enjoyed a nightly adventure. They laughed together like old friends, like sisters. Under the hospital eaves, the branch of the country's yard acts a silent witness, holding on to the memories. A breeze passed through, and those memories drift away, bit by bit, into the night.
I miss those days so much, Marsha. When even the most trivial of things carried an unquestioned meaning. Everything was in perfect order.
Every bundle of wood had its purpose, even if it was only meant to warm a study room. It should be as simple as that. Knights that set out to fight for justice and wander the lands, returning laden with treasure and glory. This was the story they wanted for themselves. Back then, they couldn't or wouldn't imagine any other. Have you spoken to the Grand Master? I have. We're all concerned of what we should do next.
Marsha, you found your own path, haven't you?
There's a trace of envy in her eyes as she says it. You know, Hildy, ever since I met Edida again, I started dreaming of the old days. Marsha opens her hand, as if turning the page of a book. Dreams that have led me relive my past, the good and the bad.
One thing is certain. Though I traveled far, I never strayed from the right path.
Seeing things here, I think that's true for the Knights of the Hawkland as well. Marsha glances around at the end of her words. Hildy, where's Edida? Stage 8, The Burden of Glory. Marsha finds the knight a short walk from the hospital, sitting in a quiet conversation at the edge of the field. She sits down near her without intruding. The knight sits among the bending tall grass like old stone, as if she has always been there. To sit in silence and set the mind to quiet is an essential virtue of our knight. In compilation, we may search our resolve, explore the depths of our belief. It was a lecture she has heard before, and the message was clear. So, for some time longer, they sat together in silence, accompanied only by the rustle of the autumn winds.
However...
With our training, we can sometimes forget that we need to use arcane skill to quiet our emotions. Sometimes, it is better to do battle with the trouble in our hearts instead of pushing it away. What is it that you're what is it that you're fighting, Edida? Regret. When I saw our knights outside the hospital, I was relieved, overjoyed to have found some of our lost comrades. But though we saved these people, we left Rejoica, we let Mantis slip through our hands.
I can hardly believe it.
I cannot find a center between my joy and my despair. Now the path ahead for our order seems more unclear than ever before. We made the right decision based on what we knew. I did, and I'm greatly heartened to have found Hilgard and others. That in itself is a blessing.
However...
But they did not come here for me. I didn't know they were here. I didn't even know they were alive. Our orders had no home and no direction. It was only magnified by my disgrace.
There's no need.
I know the burden of command weighs heavily on you, sister, but you must not be harsh on yourself. You were given responsibility for the organization that has been already falling to ruins. The troubles are not of your making. There's still a little solace in that. But though I may not have created those troubles, I have been steward over them and simply refuse to fix them. And I think I found the reason. I am in search for an answer. Not just for an order, but for my own sake. Who is responsible for the order's downfall? A cruel question. Manus Vindictae? The answer is too easy. To blame an enemy for our downfall is a hollow excuse. Should I blame the Kaiser, the military, the state? How long have we served the ruler of this land and never once doubted their authority? But I fear the truth is all too simple. The order has grown outdated. The age of chivalry is long over. We've always been a mere remnants. The horror of this war comes a long-awaited death knell. But... Ella raised her hand, stopping Marsha.
Back then,
When I found you in that storage room, I was filled with guilt and regrets. I felt the same way the day I heard of your death.
I had regretted it.
I will never regret saving you from that snow child. Or perhaps I was wrong to bring you to the order. You could have lived some happy life with a normal family. Instead, we forced you to suppress your nature, molded you into a warrior, and convinced you that it was your duty to give your life for the sake of our vows. The silent grief strikes Marsha's heart. Annabelle has carried her death all this time.
Adelheid,
I'm sorry I didn't tell you then. I shouldn't have let you carry that guilt.
this is my choice.
I don't regret becoming a knight, Annabelle. My days with the Order has given me the most precious gift. It is that character you, Annabelle, and the Order has given me that has kept me from despair in the face of horror. It is my vow that keeps me on my path when the way is narrow and the road uneasy. Marsha turns to Annabelle, closing in towards her, meeting her face.
I understand.
I can see your resolve. Once we brought your temperature down, I left to help the others.
However...
I feel as though I looked away only for a moment before you were right back up, tending to the wound as if you had forgotten you were nearly dead. You may only have the potion now, but you are as true a knight as any of us. A worthy sister of the Holland Order. Arda returns briefly to her contentment, picturing the knights working tireless through the hospital, and Marsha stands among them. So I say to myself, see, Arda, chivalry has not faded after all. It can still be a shield that protects the weak and vulnerable at this age. Arda turns to meet Marsha's eyes, conviction and pride burning on her face.
Marsha.
As for the proposal you mentioned, this reimaging of the Order, I will consider it. In the soft golden light of the dawn, a transport convoy bearing the Foundation's logo arrived outside the hospital. Marsha finishes up her rotation through the ward, but on hearing the noise, he finds an unboarded window and leans out to get a view. Mr. Razor, good to see you finally arrived. The squad captain offers her a wordless nod before returning to unloading the vehicle. Behind him, people in gray and white checkered uniforms carry supplies into the hospital as the new medics rush in beside them. Reverend Mother, this is Mr. Razor from the Foundation. Marsha leads Irene over. Mr. Razor, we appreciate the Foundation's support. Your arrival is a long-awaited godsend.
Don't mention it.
We got our orders. We began by transferring all the heavily wounded out to a safer location.
Be ready.
In 4 days' time, there will be a train passing through the station nearby. Everyone else is to load up there for evacuation.
Don't worry.
I've been given permission to remain with you here until the time. and once we evacuate, I will be accompanying the soldiers that wish to keep fighting the Don region. We will be deployed to assist Xeno Cavalry Corps near Belgrade. Wonderful, I'll share the good news immediately. After Irene leaves, Razor turns back to Marsha. I should apologize. We arrived much later than intended. I'm not proud of that. I understand. Mr. Krunos informed me of the situation. We were delayed by the Mantis Vecite.
And it involves you.
We ran into one of our own campus along the way. It was heavily defended, but what are they transferring might be of interest to you. So did Annabelle get her items back from the plunderer? Marsha's heart skips a beat.
Do you mean?
Follow me, please.
You should gather the knights first. So we got the orders of relics back and items. Marsha unsummons her brothers and sisters, and they follow Razor out to the Foundation's parked convoy. Among the familiar livery of the Foundation, one truck stands apart.
Oh,
A Mantis truck.
Exactly.
Correct. We have already gotten word that the hospital was secure, so we knew we had an opportunity. We decided to engage them just to see what was worth all the fuss they put into defending it.
But
We sent them packing and managed to seize the transport they were protecting, which led us to this one. During the inventory, we noticed that many of the items bore the seal of your order, Marsha. So the Foundation authorized us to return these spoils to the High-Lec Order.
What?
Edno steps forward in disbelief as Razor opens the door of the truck. Inside the dim interior lie dozens of covered paintings, stacked upon stacks of yellow books and tombs, silverware, and a shattered, dust-colored covered sword.
I can hardly believe it.
The ledger of the Holland Order, candlesticks from the meeting hall, and a sword forged of patterned steel rests among them. Its hilt is wrapped in black horsehide, a blade fractured into several pieces. The familiar Latin inscriptions can still be made out along the broken blade. That's Herman's sword, the one that vanished after his death. Edo gathers the broken blade into her arms. Her fingers run along the edge lightly, and a thin line of blood wells up. A dim, dark blue shimmer ripples across the sword. Herman's arcane skill, bound to the blade and awakened by blood, reveals the truth. Herman used his sword in his fight with Mantis Vecite, leaving traces of their incantation on it. They must have taken it to hide any evidence of their involvement. A long-rumored secret finally lays itself bare. Behind Adadel, the knight drives their sword into the earth, hands resting on the hilt. Marsha puts her hand together and offers a quiet prayer for her old grandmaster.
But
We didn't recognize the sword at first, but we found the order's name on it, some of the books and documents, though we knew for sure after we saw it. After the dust settles, Razor pulls away the velvet cloth covering the painting. After the dust settles, a solemn and sacred past appears on display in front of them.
Oh, this is...
That's Marsha dubbing ceremony. I remember we had a painter staying with us at the castle. He painted the ceremony to repay us for our hospitality. That was the day Marsha took her vow as a knight. To have such a moment memorable in a painting is a rare honor. Yet by coincidence, Marsha's knighting was preserved forever. A moment that belonged not just to her, but to all knights of the order. Every knight once stood in the same place during the dubbing ceremony. They pledged vows before their new brothers and sisters, and waited for the sword, the very symbol of knighthood, to rest on their shoulder. I vowed to hold the Hochland's order in reverence, to defend it faithfully. I vowed to keep this oath without dissent, to heed the statute of virtue, and to honor the counsel of my brethren,
Bis zum Tage meines Todes.
until the day of my death. Marsha rumors her oath beneath her breath, flooded by the memory.
All the training I've done was in service of that day.
That day I became a knight. In the painting, Marsha's expression is solemn. She wears her ceremonial attire. Her folded hands tell that her expression for the glory to come. Countless faces of night, living and fallen, seems as though they could perfectly overlap with the girl's face. The knight departed from the sheriff's soul with the dubbing ceremony, carrying out the duties under the Grand Master's commands.
We looked forward to it.
We look ahead for the future missions, eager to prove ourselves, to return with glory earned by our swords. Until that knightly glory was laid to waste beneath the withering sieve of machine guns fire. Now, the one that survived wanders without purpose around its grave. But the young woman in the painting walks a different path, a narrow one, defined by her vows, no longer constricted by them. A path too small for seed to charge, too tight for armor to pass. So she releases her horses, lays down her sword, and packs away her breastplate. Yet she keeps her pauldron. Her silvery steel gleams as a guide, like a North Star, a reminder of what happened.
The Order.
The Knights of Hawkland must begin anew. As the painting is uncovered, the distance between past and present clears away the dust of history. It opens a bloody wound long left unattended, a rift that has been kept them divided in a week. Adele removes her cloak and gently covers the broken sword.
I can hardly believe it.
I never would have dared to dream the sword would be recovered. Stranger still for it to have been found and returned by the organization she has long distrusted. Though the sword is far from the Order's most precious relic, it's possible all the items of true value are gone forever. But it doesn't matter. The painting before them once proudly adored their home's stone corridor. The candlestick once burned in the meeting hall, witnessing the knights' worship and prayers. Apart from that sword, the rest of the items are humble things from the castle. Yet though they may have little worth, they are rich in memory, not all of them glorious, but small, tangible, and real.
However...
Even so, I feel our treasures have been restored. Just like the shield Sas gave to Adele, the one she carries at her waist.
What defines a knight?
Adele asks herself. To uphold our values and never bow to evil, to honor our brothers alive and dead, through our words and our deeds.
It's more of a burden than an honor.
You told me that after the dubbing ceremony. Marsha walks up to her mentor and comrade in arms.
Yes.
Yes, a knight's path is not one of authority and luxury. We learn to endure hardship and live simply, to keep minds fixed on justice. Ethel looks deep into Marsha's eyes. The future knighthood in her vision stands right beside her. The answer within reach. Ethel turns and faces the others. Brothers and sisters, after we leave this hospital, we will search for our scattered comrades.
Well then.
Along the way, I tend to follow Sister Marsha's advice. This age does not need a mounted warrior, but it still needs an order. We will find a new purpose, to help the vulnerable, to heal the sick, and to care for the wounded as we once did in the day of old. The knights will distance themselves from the wicked games of war. We shall return to where we first began.
Von diesem Tage an kämpfen wir nur noch Leben zu retten. Vor
From
der
this-
Sichel des Todes.
From this day on, we fight only to save lives from the sickle of death. Our efforts are no longer to be confined by nationality or creed. A murmur ripples through the nights, yet not a single word raises in opposition. Marsha listens quietly, surprised. We will follow whatever you lead, Adele, and this is a significant change.
Well then,
That may be so. I am but the acting Grandmaster. Though it is my vision, I will convey a meaning of the order so we may decide on our path together. Adele looks at Razor.
what if...
If the order chooses this path, there may come a day when we seek to collaborate with the Foundation, provided the Foundation remains what it is today. The squad leader bows his head in respectful agreement.
May the peace be with us.
Sister Marsha, should that day come,
Marsha, you will serve as the bridge between the Order and the Foundation.
I'll do my best.
the simple words are said as a solemn oath. A breeze sweeps across the plains, carrying the crisp scent of late autumn frosts. As it passes through them, it seems to strip away the dust that has gathered on their order. The morning light shines on them, the promise of a new day, a new beginning. Marsha raises her hand before her eyes. The brilliant dawn spills in through her fingertips.
What a good day it is.
And that's the end of Marsha's story. I collect them all. Already collected them all. In the name of Chivalry.